Welcome back to the Three Teachers Podcast.
Woo! Episode number 2.
Yes, episode number 2, which was the final episode of this season of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Lots to talk about. We're going to kick it off with a warm-up where we're going to let everyone know what we've been watching these days. Then we're going to go into some breakout groups where we talk more about the different segments that were involved in this episode. We're going to let you guys know who we think is a rising star in this episode and who needs a break. I have a feeling we're probably on the same page again this week. And we're going to wrap it up with our exit ticket where we let you know what to do before you finish listening to this podcast.
Karen here. Karen speaking.
Hi,
So I
Karen.
think we need to discuss about the teacher theme,
Yes.
just so people that aren't teachers know how our podcast goes.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the first thing, breakout rooms. That's how we.
They're sort of like centers.
Yes.
It's like sort of chops up the episode.
Mhm.
There's different things we talk about. It's sort of similar in the classroom. At different breakout groups or centers, you do different things, focus on different activities. So that's sort of why it's different for each breakout group, because they're intended to be that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then for our rising star
Yep.
and the
Needs a break.
that's our positive reinforcement. And, right? That's what we do
That's
with students
exactly.
to get them hyped for
Mhm.
how they
Mhm.
are doing.
Motivated to continue acting the
Yes.
way they were acting.
Right.
Yes.
And the needs a break is, it's not really consequence because we don't like to use that word necessarily in education anymore, but it's sort of like a you need to reset
Mm-hmm.
and then let's try again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Think about what you
That's
have
right,
done,
that's
what
right.
you can do better.
Right.
Hopefully a little bit of self-reflection happens there, but you got to call it like you see it until they do that.
Exactly. And then, of course, we start with an agenda, which is just sort of a great way for kids
Yeah.
to,
And we
go up
end
to.
it with an exit ticket, which
Oh,
holds you accountable.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
So
A little
Another-
reflection on
Yes,
what you
there you go.
learned.
Yes, accountable, a teacher word. Just
yes,
There you
everybody
go.
knows.
All right, so on our dream team slide, I'll start. What have I been watching this week? Okay, so I have started watching on Netflix the Confessions of a Serial Killer. Oh my gosh, series. So I've watched the one on John Wayne Gacy, which if nobody knows, he was a serial killer who dressed up as a clown. He's
Oh.
most often
That's
associated
creepy.
as
Yeah.
being a killer clown. He actually didn't kill anyone as a clown, but he dressed up as a clown, blah, blah, blah. So I watched that, and then I was like, all right, I'm in the rabbit hole. Got to keep going. Then I listened and watched the Confessions of a Serial Killer, Ted Bundy. And what I'm going to say about watching so many true crime series, because now I'm also back into Dateline. I had taken a break for years,
Me too.
and now I'm like, what am I doing on Friday and Saturday night? Watching Dateline 48 hours or
Brian and
20.
I.
But so I've been watching those. And then I've also started watching Selling Sunset again. They have their most recent season on Netflix. If you're not aware, it's a bunch of really glitzy, glamorous real estate agents over in Los Angeles, which is fun. But what I wanted to end with is, if you go into the true crime rabbit hole, what I'm noticing is I have been having the worst nightmares, like terrified nightmares.
Oh.
And I think it's because I'm just like watching all this stuff and thinking so intently of it and being like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, people can be like this.
Mhm.
And then I just cannot sleep as a result of it. So that's sort of in my 30s, because I'm Brenda representing the 30s generation. That's what I'm watching anyways.
All right. I'm
All
going
right.
to have to check out that true crime. That sounds
Yeah,
very up my
yeah.
alley.
That does seem up your alley, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really does.
And the staircase. I told you, got to watch the staircase.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Karen. I am watching their old reruns, but Wahlburgers.
Okay.
That's it's a reality show about the Wahlburger restaurant,
Mhm.
and I am drawn to it because of Marky Mark and Donnie, from New Kids on the Block.
Mhm.
Long story. You don't want to get into it.
All right. Well, one day you'll have
Yes,
to.
I will.
Yes.
I will. And Summer House, of course.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a Bravo show.
Mhm.
It's about a young group of professionals who go to the Hamptons for each weekend of the summer and just basically live it up. It's
Mhm.
it's pretty good. And I just started watching Welcome Home, Nikki Glaser, which is a reality show of a comedian who goes back to St. Louis, I think, to live with her parents and make a reality show. Also a Bravo show. So I am 48-year-old, so I'm representing the 40s.
Mhm.
Yes. And go ahead, Meg.
Well, I was gonna say, Karen, let us know how the Nikki Glazer show is. If
yeah.
it's a thumbs up or down as you continue.
So far, it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
How many seasons are there of that?
It's the first episode.
Oh,
one
okay.
season. First episode last night.
Poor Meg. She's constantly trying to catch up.
I know.
Me in my 20s here.
Or 20-something.
Yes. I was going to say, as you guys
Are you
know,
young?
I'm 20, and then I had to think about it, 24. So I don't even know how old I am anymore.
Neither do I, Meg.
No,
Neither do I.
it is but a number, but got a lot of catching up to do right now in the Bravo world. So I just binged Real Housewives of New Jersey. That's how we got here.
Yeah.
I'm right now finishing up season 3 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm loving it so far. I am perplexed by the amount of money these women have.
It is
My
amazing.
gosh, it hurts my
Yeah.
feelings every time I watch
Mhm.
to see the size of their houses.
Yes.
But I'm loving that right now. That's my Bravo fix. Because I'm binging that, I'm not watching too many other things right now. I'm watching a little bit of this season of Survivor.
Mhm.
I haven't seen that in a couple of seasons now, but I'm really liking this new season. The cast from this season actually wasn't allowed to watch the last season.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of plot twists that are new to these last 2 seasons of Survivor. And
Okay.
because they've never seen it, it's a clean
Got
slate.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, so that's been really cool. And of course, with my boyfriend, we're just watching all the NBA games. I don't
Oh
watch
my gosh.
all of them.
It's like, really into basketball.
Yes,
Brian.
yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of what our significant others are watching, the NFL draft was last week.
Oh yes, it was. Yep. You
oh.
watched that also.
Oh yeah. I was privy to listening / watching this Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Me too.
Yes. Was there a lot of commotion in your house too about the excitement for the Giants, or is that just
That's
from
my
house?
that's Brian.
Yeah.
Huge Giants. fan.
Okay.
And Bob weighed in on the Giants pick because he and Brian are friends, but Bob was definitely like all over the Patriots.
Oh,
like
that.
I mean, his every pick, it was like his heart either rose or fell. Oh god, it was crazy.
Yes, there was screaming from our basement for
Yes.
Brian the first pick. Yeah, Conrad, my pup, came running
Yes.
up.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
It was really So that's what the husbands have
Yes.
been watching / Paul. So
The Real Husbands
Yes.
of the Teachers podcast.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're about to get into the episode. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay, so welcome back. We watched our 20-minute or 15-minute segment. We are in breakout room or group 1. The agenda is the aftermath of the apology of Teresa's dinner.
She's doing quotes there.
Yes, I was doing air quotes. We're going to talk about connections, and then we're going to talk about apologizing and friendship, and then our final thoughts about this segment.
All right, so connections I had. I know we talked about this last time, but remember how we were saying how when we go on like vacation, it's like, all right, what do you got? Bagels, cereal, like nice breakfast would be nice, but like let's just whatever. They're getting a chef for breakfast.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
it is awesome.
As I eat.
Karen's having some chips and guacamole.
Yes.
Totally fine.
They're having a luxury breakfast to start their day.
In my notes, I wrote their breakfast! ! A chef! ! Oh my god! If only.
Yes. And you notice none of them were late.
Oh,
the
yes.
breakfast. They all showed up.
knew.
Yeah,
right
You're like,
away.
you want an omelet? And blah blah. Okay, yeah.
Meanwhile,
what was your
I
connection?
usually leave with like a granola bar when I'm on vacation. Run out the
Exactly.
door. I can eat this quick.
Yes.
Yeah, totally not how my vacations go either.
Mm-hmm.
That I would say was kind of the big connection for me there too when I was looking at that. I mean, aside from all of the obvious connections I feel there are from these adults to the students that we might work with.
Right.
It's interesting to watch their behavior unfold on TV
Yeah.
and think about what we would do in our classrooms if kids were behaving like that.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
That
I know
is,
I would have
actually.
none of it.
Yes.
but-
You know what I noticed, and you're so right, Megan. You brought this up last episode too. The connection with school. Like I love Melissa, but what I find like I sort of am a teacher that is similar to Melissa, and that I'm like, you're so right, but I have to have this line, I have to toe this line. I have to listen to both sides. I have to, take time to think, process. I might not jump out right immediately, and I you're so right. I think there's a lot of personalities as adults that you see in kids. You know,
Absolutely.
even on these shows.
Absolutely, where they feel like they're just acting almost
Mhm.
more childish than the kids who I work with, which is crazy.
Yes.
The best group.
All right, questions. Oh no, we were gonna go to apologizing.
Yes,
Apologizing.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys.
Yes,
then.
Yes, go.
So I'm wondering what makes a good apology? Because I would say we saw a pretty bad example of an apology on this show. So, Brenda, what are your thoughts on what makes a good apology?
My apology, I feel like a good apology is when you say I'm sorry and there's not but.
See, that was mine too. Yes, you should never say but, however, or
I was
if I made
this,
you.
this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Meg?
Yeah.
I think there's so much repair that needs to be done in
Mhm.
apologizing. I'm sorry for whatever the situation may be,
Right.
followed by, how do I make this better for us? What steps can I take? And it's an ownership piece that I think was kind of missing here. That accountability comes up again.
So,
what are you thinking, Karen?
So, let me ask you this. What makes the person getting the apology ready to accept it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they're angry. Clearly, they're going to be angry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what makes a good acceptance? The person's personality?
Well, I think you shouldn't give an apology till you cool down and mean it. And you probably shouldn't accept it until you've cooled down and can accept it.
Accept it and make.
You know, I mean, I think it's got to go both ways. At least in my mind. I mean, I'm always willing to accept an apology because I'm like, I don't like conflict. Just go away, whatever, you know. But not everyone's like that.
No, I totally agree. And it's interesting watching Beverly Hills right now, because that's kind of been a big topic for them about not wanting to accept other people's apologies because they just don't feel ready yet. And that there's so much harm done that it was hard to overcome.
Right.
So
I also think it depends how close you are with the person as well.
True.
Mm-hmm. Because let's be honest, when you fight with your significant other, it's a lot more personal.
Yes.
So it's a little more difficult to accept right off. I guess depending on how bad it was, but
I also feel like it's so hard. I don't ever want to say anything that I'd have to apologize for because I feel so bad. Like we were joking, Karen and I were joking the other day, and like I said a little joke to you, and I like texted you the whole night like, I just want to let you know I love you and I'm so sorry I didn't mean anything by it.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, cause I was like sometimes I'm like I just never want to say anything even joking that like because I really feel terrible.
But remember what I said? I said no, only a true friend could do that.
And that's what you're saying about like how do you accept it? I think with the three of us, like first of all, I never want to offend anybody. I would feel terrible, but I also would hope you know, like, okay, Brenda, like really did not mean that, you know? I don't know.
I think there's too a piece about the assuming good intent.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I feel like when we're watching this episode on replay, you know, there wasn't that good intent behind it. So I feel like that makes it even harder to then accept an apology that right off the bat was not a good apology.
Well, and
it was, I'm sorry, I was provoked.
Yes.
Terrible.
Again, it goes back to me thinking, what did the producers say to them? Because a part of me is like, a producer said to her, you might want to go into the dinner and apologize because you were just physical throwing a glass and blah, blah, blah. Like a part, because she doesn't sound sincere. So why did she say it then? I almost feel like what producer's saying, yeah, you kind of need to address this.
Or did Melissa and Joe call her and say, you have to?
I'm wondering, too, it could have been Louie who might have suggested this as a way of repairing.
Because you don't make an apology like that unless somebody told you to and you're not ready.
Absolutely. Especially from Teresa Giudice, who has never made an attempt at an apology before. So it was funny watching Melissa and Joe say, like, oh, yay, you tried.
Victory.
It was the participation trophy there. So.
Oh, my goodness.
But I do feel like a seed had to have been planted there.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm wondering what makes a good friend. There's a couple of things that got me thinking about this episode. Okay. So Teresa was asked or saying, like, I thought Marge was my friend. Now Marge's role in this was really that it seemed at surface level like she was just asking questions, right? Yeah. But then you have Teresa who's fat shaming her.
Mhm.
You have Marge, who's in this position where she's upset almost with the other girls at the beginning of this episode
Yeah.
because no one stood up for her when those things were
Right.
happening.
That's a good point.
And today it said something like, we're a group of friends and we're divided. And she said, I'm just divided from her right now. So what do you think, and this is a, I guess, pretty broad question, makes a good friend? Do you think Marge was kind of in the wrong here? Do you think, what do you guys think?
Margaret said, Teresa is dangerous. If you feel somebody's dangerous, and that's, I
Not
mean,
a
how
friendship.
do you even
No.
make a friendship out of
Yeah.
that?
If you can't trust
If
someone,
you can't trust them.
Yeah.
like I think a true friend is like, okay, so I would have your back. I'd expect you to have my back.
Mhm.
I would, but I think so. It's, I guess, loyalty, trust, obviously.
It's huge.
I think comfort. Like if I feel safe with you, that's huge.
Mhm.
You know, where you don't have to worry about, oh God, you know, what did I say, and do I have to call and apologize because I didn't mean it like that. Like we were just saying, you know, the three of us. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I don't think, to be honest with you, I think that some of them have fake friendships. I think Jennifer is a fake friend.
I do too.
You
Bless
know,
you,
Karen's
Thank
just
you.
sneezing.
Come in
I think
threes.
Jennifer's kind of a fake friend. I don't even think I know who Jennifer is.
I don't either. And
Dolores seems like a ride or die friend.
yes,
which
yes.
begs the question.
Is that a real friend?
Yeah.
Right. Or are you
to
just
other
a-
girls
Right,
in the group.
right. Because I feel like
Is she just the friend with Teresa?
Right.
Or
she
I don't
made
know.
a comment one time. Dolores had made a comment once about how like it almost seemed like she blindly follows Teresa and their friendship. And she had said something along the lines of once like, I understand Teresa and I understand that upbringing, and maybe part of it's because I don't, and those that wasn't the way I was raised.
Yep.
But it almost to me like a totally ride or die situation. But how can you so blindly follow one of your friends when they're making so many poor decisions in front of you?
Yeah.
So does that make Dolores a good friend for not trying to help her, push her to be her best version of herself?
I know. That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
question. I mean, I think in Teresa's eyes and Dolores' eyes, she's being a good friend because Teresa doesn't want criticism. She just wants blind loyalty. But I think it's very hard as a viewer. As much as I love Dolores, it's like, ugh, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about
Come
that.
on.
Think about back in those other seasons. Caroline.
Yeah.
Yes.
She tried to be a good friend to Teresa, but Teresa couldn't accept accountability for her
She
mistakes.
couldn't, and
And
she
she
would
totally cut her off.
You're so right.
It was the same with Jackie too. By the end of
Yes,
this
Jacqueline.
friendship,
Yes.
she didn't want people asking questions about her. But as my friends, I would hope you guys would care enough about me to ask me some questions about how I'm doing. So that's really
of course.
Even her
complex.
cousins. She cut off so many people because they weren't blindly loyal.
And I always say, and I've said it to you too, like, I'm a curious person, so I'm just always going to ask. And if you don't want, just be like, Brenda, no. And I'll totally get the boundary. But, like, sometimes people want you to ask and nobody does. And, like, I genuinely care. That's why I do, you know?
Agreed.
So, I don't know. I guess coming down to them, I don't know what sort of friendships they really have. But that was a great question, Mick, because honestly, I think it's different for everybody, you know?
Especially watching in this group. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right. So if we're looking at our final thoughts, are we ready to be there?
Yeah, I think we're ready. You want to go first, Karen?
No, what I think is I wrote down take accountability.
Love it.
Admit your part, and Teresa clearly can't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
I wrote down when Jennifer said, "Oh, Margaret, you got to take accountability," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry." Margaret said she was sorry to you in the one-on-one sit down at the breakfast bakery place. Did she not remember that? And then she cried and she felt bad. So I don't know why Jennifer's still in her confessional being like, "I don't know why Margaret says that Teresa's in the wrong. She doesn't take accountability for what she said. Look what she did to my marriage." Well, I remember her being like, "I'm sorry. If I had known this would have happened, I wouldn't have said it." But okay, that's my final thought there.
Absolutely. And the last note I have on here is making me laugh a little bit, which was, do you announce when you're making an analogy? Which in my teaching practice, I probably would because I work with children.
Yes.
So in that case, I probably would. But given that these women are full-grown adults, I would say the answer to that one is 0% chance. I'm announcing when I'm making an analogy.
I'm going to make an analogy now, Meg. No,
Right.
I don't have one now.
So I'm going to make an analogy.
Perfect. That's a great way to end that. Awesome.
All right. Next up on our agenda is breakout group 2, where we're going to talk about the fun that they had in Nashville. We're going to share some connections that we made to the episode. We're going to talk about their adventure on the party bike, that hot chicken competition I would not touch with a 10-foot pole, and then our final thoughts about this episode.
All right.
Okay.
So I don't know about you guys, but in this piece I felt like there were a lot of not relatable things going on. Like I would not be able to have that many drinks and also ride a bike at the same time.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Well, see, I was gonna say, I feel like I could.
I know. I take that back. I'm like, well, I probably could too.
All right, 2 out of 3 on this one. You guys can handle that.
The oldies.
I'll bike around with you guys.
There you
That'll
go.
be my
It's something that comes
contribution.
in your 30s or 40s.
I
Meg.
can't wait for it.
Yeah, so when we were in Raleigh, our
Yeah.
friends, we had just moved, and our friends did a whole day event on a party bike. And I was so jealous. I
Really?
could do it. I could totally do it.
Yeah. I would actually like to do one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I had written down party bike, please, because I definitely want to do.
I'll be there. I think that would be a real fun excursion. But
Yeah.
I just know that if I had, what they have, like 7 drinks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd be thrown up in my lap.
Well,
As
you
I'm
would have
riding
to
along.
have like your strawberry daiquiri and like just sip on that.
You're right.
You know what I mean? You'll be good. 1 to 2.
Yes. One sip.
I will say, Karen here, I will say the fact, as for the pedaling, you guys would be carrying me.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
I could drink, you could pedal.
We're gonna make one perfect human together, Karen.
Oh, God,
Okay,
I
what
love
about you guys though?
All right, so I wrote down how much I love Nashville. So years ago, oh my gosh, maybe 12 years ago now, I went on a road trip with my mom and my grandparents. We went to, I think, 17 different states. It was like the most amazing trip. We stopped in Nashville. My mom and I actually went out in the town. We went to, I think, Margaritaville, which actually is where they have the happy hour for the highway country station on Sirius XM, if anybody listens to that. And I say to Bob all the time, I want to go there one day because I listen to it on Fridays. But anyways, we went to Nashville and I loved it. It was beautiful. I wish I could have spent more time there. I wish that, we could have gone like down like the Music Row area. But it's really, really beautiful. And little known fact. Okay. What do you guys think Nashville's known for? Like, what do you think like is their big hub of like industry?
Ooh. Yeah,
What do
country
you think?
songs.
Country songs. Okay.
Or
What do you think, Meg?
Grand Ole Opry.
I would have thought maybe fashion with that too.
Okay, fashion too.
Boots and stuff.
Yeah. So when I was there, because I'm the curious one, I'm like, what is Nashville known for? And I asked like the guy at the like tourist industry building or whatever. He's like, hospitals. I guess they're really into like healthcare and hospitals.
Oh.
And I was like, all right. Never would have known that. So, anyways, another little known fact about Nashville. That was my little connection. So sorry.
So when I have alcohol poisoning on that bike trip, you guys can take me right there.
There's hospitals and healthcare.
Thank you.
What about you, Karen?
My connection. All right, so Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So not really my connection, but my sister-in-law and brother-in-law are going to end up moving there. I believe and starting a company.
Wow.
So that's great. But another connection is I love how Margaret has so many different hairstyles.
Yes.
And it's not a connection because me, I've had the same hairstyle for since high school.
High five, girl.
Oh my gosh. And I can't seem to get over that.
I get it.
So, but her hair, I think she looks awesome because they did a flashback and they showed her with
The
several different.
pigtails,
Yeah, and then the
yes,
short
cute
bob,
hair.
and
Right,
it was
right.
awesome. I wish I could do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm letting the podcast know that tomorrow you're wearing your hair up as a challenge.
Okay.
So
Oh, you put it out there.
I put it out there. Tomorrow we are changing it up. Day
All right,
one.
we're gonna try. Okay. Thanks, Meg. Appreciate it. All right.
All right, so that was our connections. All right, party bike. I think
kinda
we're going to
talked
talk
about
about party
that.
bike.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the hot chicken. Does anyone have a question about this? Because I had one if nobody else did.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
Can
you
I
got
go back? All right. So Karen here again. So I have a question
Yeah.
about the party bike. So as adults, and is there a profession, because Melissa was drunk, where you can drink in public and be drunk? You know what?
Oh.
I mean, like, what are the consequences to that? Like, as teachers, I don't think it's a thing we can really do.
Never.
No.
Like,
never.
even when we go to dinners and,
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
because you never know who you're going to run into.
See.
But, I mean, Melissa felt, a lot of them felt it was okay.
They were totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was like 1,000 miles away, I'd probably.
I guess
feel
on
fine.
vacation because you're
Yeah.
But like around town or even in the 40-mile radius, nope.
like even with Brian, his profession, he can't go out in public and ride a bike and be drunk.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not
Yep.
It's not a good
Mhm.
look. Yeah.
right.
Not a
You have
good
to be
look.
careful.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. That was just a thought.
Yeah.
One more thing too, I was thinking before the hot chicken. I love how when we saw Teresa in this part of the episode walking in with Louie with her love, love, love shirt, Karen and I were just both like, ugh. Okay, sorry.
You could change that to hate, hate, hate,
I
and I think it would
know.
better suit
More
her.
I'd say dislike,
personality.
dislike, dislike.
Yeah.
Let's keep it teacher positive.
There we go. I like that. That was very
Okay,
correct.
there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. That was not a flattering outfit either.
Well, I mean, I think she looked great. It was just the fact that it was like, oh, here she comes, the buzzkill.
Yeah.
All right, question
Okay,
for you guys.
sorry.
What level spice can you handle on a chicken or anything? You know how they have like level 1 to like
Yes.
atomic 5 or something? Like, what do you think?
Me, I cannot do. All right, I've gotten better. I used to be like -1. I couldn't even do. I did naked wings, right?
Okay.
Now
Okay.
I can probably do a 1 or 2.
All right. Okay, Meg,
Okay.
what about you, honey?
Are you putting that on the same wave as like buffalo chicken? Where would that rank for you? I'm going on your scale.
Oh,
right now.
okay. That's a good
Buffalo
question.
chicken?
Yeah. Could you?
That's like a 4.
Okay.
Buffalo chicken's a 4 or 5?
Well, what are mild wings? Okay, what do we consider mild wings?
Like, buffalo
Oh.
is a 1.
Oh.
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Like, buffalo chicken to me is like a 1.
All right, so let me say this then.
Now
I
this
can
totally
step
changes
it,
my
so
answer.
I can step it up. I just went to a restaurant and got their buffalo chicken dip,
Okay.
or chicken dip with the cream cheese and all that,
Okay.
and it's called buffalo chicken, so I can handle that.
Okay.
That's probably a 1 or 2. I do sweat around the nose. So I'm
Okay.
sticking to, then maybe I can't go beyond
You're
buffalo.
I feel like you're 1.5.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Meg, what do you
Yes.
think you are, honey?
Okay, so if you just landed at 1.5, I'm probably landing around 3. Not
Ooh.
I would
spicy.
have thought you higher.
Yeah, I loved buffalo.
Yeah.
I love buffalo now. I like the flavor a lot,
flavor,
so I don't
yes.
usually go for things that are spicier than that.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I tried a ghost pepper chip one time,
Oh.
and it touched my tongue, and that was enough for me to be persuaded out of ever trying anything hot again.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was very quickly a 10 for a few seconds there, but
Okay.
ah,
All right. I mean, I could probably handle a 3. I won't enjoy it. Like,
okay.
I'll handle a 3 because someone's like, hey, try this. I'm like, okay, because I'm not going to say no. And then I'm going to be like, oh boy. But really, realistically, I probably like more of a 2. I'm more of a 2, I think. Like, I don't mind like a jalapeno kick.
Oh.
Oh, I
But
love jalapenos.
yeah, but like,
See?
I want to enjoy it. And I feel
Yeah.
like if I go more than that, I'm not going to enjoy it.
I ingested a jalapeno on a nacho thing,
Yeah.
and I almost threw up.
That is so great to
Karen,
know about
you
you.
might, you
So-
might be a 0.5.
You just dipped below what on the
All right,
scale.
so I apparently don't like spice.
No.
It's just
Like
But
I
it-
put chilies on things
Okay.
now. I love poblanos, so I guess
Ooh.
Poblanos aren't
those
spicy,
aren't
though.
spicy though.
I like those.
No. I think like I wish I knew the name of the chili peppers we've been getting now, but we'll put those on just the few
Oh my
Mexican
gosh,
dishes
you
we
guys
make.
can eat those. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys are more than a 2 or 3.
I
I
think
don't know.
I don't know. I think I'm a 2 because, like, again, I don't enjoy if it's more than that.
Yeah.
You know. But I will tell you, my mom. A quick little backstory. My mom used to make homemade salsa, and she would make like different levels, like medium, mild, hot, super hot, atomic. And we had a family friend who only
Atomic.
loved like her atomic salsa. And this is what I mean about enjoying it. He would eat it, but he would be sweating. He would sweat. He'd be sweating from his head all the way down to his feet. And I was like, why is this enjoyable? Like, you don't look like you're having a good time. And so,
No.
like, handling it versus enjoying it, I feel like your scale might be a little bit different.
Great
know?
point. Great point.
You know?
But I gotta be honest with you. My husband
Yeah.
and son,
Mhm.
they can do atomic. They can do the Brian everywhere we go.
You want the
His
hottest?
wings, he's got to get. He's like, I need crispy and I need the hottest you got.
I like the crispy.
And
Okay.
he did that just the other day,
Yeah.
and they weren't even hot to him.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, he should go on one of those like eating
Yeah,
contests because
well,
like you
yeah.
can, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, that might be something wrong.
And I think he actually enjoys it.
Okay. Well, okay.
Jeez.
Good for him.
Sweats, but
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet. And have you guys seen that show where they try out all the sauces and they start light and then they work up to those like super spicy ones?
no.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't think I know.
I'm
it.
gonna have to think of what that was called.
All right,
'cause-
Meg's gonna put it in the comments.
Yes.
When she thinks of it.
Yes, I'm gonna have to look it up. Paul asked me to order because Paul likes spicier
Oh.
food, so he asked me to order a few sauces for him for Christmas or something this year.
That's
Okay.
why we got Brian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. This is funny because Bob
Just-
is like the opposite. Bob cannot handle. Bob can't handle anything spicy. So it's
Okay.
funny that both of you guys do.
He's hanging out around Karen's level of spice.
Yes. Yeah. You and Bob. Well, we
I
always
may be a negative. I may be zero. Let's just be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Bob can't handle it. So are we ready for final thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a final thought? I have one. If we don't, but I'm
Go
sure you
ahead.
guys do.
Yeah.
Mine is Jennifer really a friend?
That was my
Okay.
thoughts.
All right.
Look at mine.
Jennifer always
Okay.
No.
Okay.
All of us just wrote about
We
Jen.
are thinking all the same thing about Jennifer. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, my question is like, is Jennifer really a friend? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like
She's
my answer
always
to that's no.
she's. I don't know. She plays both sides, and then she always backs up Teresa and things. It's just I don't know.
Now she's someone who really, I feel, blindly follows Teresa as
Oh
well.
yeah,
you know?
that's a good point.
She was a
Blindly.
big participation trophy proponent on this one
Yes.
about, well, she was making an effort and she was trying, so doesn't that count for
That's
something?
that's
Right,
the comment
right,
I put down.
right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep. All right, so we're all in agreement on that.
Okay.
All right, breakout group number 2 done.
Woo-hoo. You're good.
Okay, breakout group number 3. Final night out. Connections, the marriage blessings, Teresa and Marge, final thoughts. All right,
Okay.
connections. Can I just point out that Joe Gorga was drinking from a Costco brand seltzer? Did anyone else
I
catch
did
that?
not.
I
Kirkland?
did not notice.
Was I not supposed to say?
No, you can
that?
say Kirkland.
Okay.
I mean, we're not sponsored yet by them,
Because we eventually will be.
maybe. It was the blue bottle of flavorless seltzer because we have that as well from Costco. And so I was just pointing that out because I was like, oh, even they get from Costco. Way to
Okay.
go, them. And then I love, okay, so funny story. I don't know if you guys like notice the guy playing guitar in the background.
Yes.
Okay, the restaurant.
Yeah, the live
Okay.
music.
Yeah, the
I
live
thought was
music.
very pretty.
So, I don't know if you guys know, but when the night Bob and I got engaged, we went out to dinner and there was these like guitar player, sort of like people walking around. And I was like, oh no, please don't let this be the engagement. Please don't let us get engaged in front of a restaurant with like this band playing around us. Because I knew we were going to get engaged that night, but I just didn't know how.
Mhm.
And so, like, we're sitting out to dinner, and they come by our table, and then they go by our table, and I'm like, okay, good, thank goodness. And we ended up getting engaged later that night, not there, but I had a huge connection to watching this guitar player / mariachi band, because I was like, I remember being there, being like, is this going to be how I'm, like, telling people I'm getting engaged, and what that's going to look like. So those were 2 of my connections. I have others, but I want you guys to share next. So,
All right, Karen.
okay.
Here.
Oh yeah, sorry. That was Brenda talking.
So
Whoops.
in the beginning, I noticed the wafer cookies.
Oh
Yeah, strawberry chocolate ones that Joe
Love
Gorga was
them.
holding.
Delicious.
And it just reminds me of growing up and going to my grandma's all the time. She always had them.
Same.
Really?
My grandparents.
Yes.
Same. And like,
Okay.
I would love to go over there because I knew they had the
Yes.
wafer cookies.
And
Okay,
they're
sorry.
so
Yes,
good.
they are so good.
And I think that was really the only connection I had.
Okay. All right. Okay,
All
Meg,
right.
what do you have, honey?
Mine was also to the live music.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
just, You guys know me. I love to listen to it. If you come into my classroom, I'm playing some sort of piano music all the time for my kids. Like, I loved playing the piano growing up, but it was funny seeing the guitar, especially just because that was kind of the first instrument that I grew up hearing. My dad played the guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, so we would just always hear him playing it around the house. So seeing that, like, I love going to places now that have live music. I went somewhere, maybe it was like 2 or 3 weeks back, and they had someone who's playing the guitar, and I walked in, and they were playing the same songs my dad used to play, so that was...
Nostalgia.
I just love the live music, so...
Oh, that's awesome, honey. That's great. I had a couple more. So, I mean, I love wine. I like white wine, I like red wine, whatever. But when I drink red wine, I always drink with a straw because I'm afraid of staining my teeth.
Yes.
And I don't know if anyone noticed in this episode, but they were totally just like pouring it up and drinking it up. And I was like, oh gosh, I would totally need a straw for this.
And I totally noticed that in a lot of other shows, reality shows. They all use straws. So, and I get it. I totally get it.
I think the people who don't must have gotten their teeth whitened, and it's like the bright color, where it's like they can afford to have a few, red white wine stains.
I'm sure the affordability piece plays in here. I would not be able to afford to fix that afterward. Either. I also drink mine with a straw.
Yeah, so. I'm just that person. The other thing I said before we move in to our marriage blessing is the lateness on the Housewives. Okay. So I watch all of the Housewives. I watched Dallas, Salt Lake City, Orange County, Beverly Hills. I watched Potomac. I watched Atlanta. I watched New Jersey. I watched New York.
Yeah.
If I'm missing something, whatever. Oh, yeah, New Jersey. That's what we're watching currently.
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I watch them all. And what I will say is there is a real curse of lateness. Some cities are worse than others. And I understand, like, maybe there's like a time frame of be there between 7 and 9. So you're going to be there at 9 because you have more time to get ready. I get that. But the lateness on the shows is kind of crazy. And I love you both. And I think you love me too. But if I was 2 hours late to something, I'm sure you'd be like, sorry, Brenna, talk to you later. Gotta go by.
Well, you know who's really, to be honest, I am typically early. Not too early, but at least on time.
Yeah.
Maybe even 5 minutes.
Yes.
I just feel terrible. I just am that way.
Yes.
You know who's terrible with that? I don't know. You have not yet met her on the Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Meg, yeah.
Dorit.
Oh, yes.
Dorit is awful.
And Erica too, though.
Oh, they're all... it's rude. It's rude.
It is rude. It's
absolutely.
Yeah,
it is
like
rude. And doesn't it make people feel like, I don't know, I feel anxious when I know that other people are now waiting on something because I'm late to it.
I feel terrible.
Yeah.
Like on Easter Sunday a few weeks ago, we were going to go to my husband's family, and like I had in my mind had enough time to get ready. And like he was a little anxious thinking I didn't know how much time it would take. And I was like, no, I got this, because I like plan out ahead, like travel time, my time, what I need for extras, like if something comes up, but I feel like, do people not plan for that?
Well, I mean, think about accountability for our students.
Yeah.
Sorry, drawing it back to school.
No, go to school.
They're late, they get in trouble. They're tardy. It's just not a thing that they can do.
No.
Right. So where does the disconnect come between growing up, and it's okay to be late?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. I would feel bad, but I guess.
Okay, so one more thing I got to bring up. You said you had a rebuttal.
Yes. Okay.
The whole Margaret thing with the curler.
Oh,
the one little pink curler in the front of her hair. I don't understand the point of it.
Okay. Well, Karen, have you ever curled your hair?
Yes.
Okay, but with a curler?
Yes.
Okay. Well. So she's like, I really don't know.
Not to go in public.
All right, so like,
maybe as a fun thing.
She has one of the heated Velcro curls. So it's like you put it in your hair and it sticks. You heat it up. You put it in your hair.
With a hairdryer?
Well, you can heat it with whatever, but it sticks there, and then you leave it there for, I don't know, half hour, an hour, whatever you want the curl to be. But if you notice, it's for her bangs. It's for her the long sort of angle of her bangs.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I again, low maintenance here. I don't know.
Karen's low maintenance.
I am.
I actually don't use them either, but I've seen them used, which is why I knew what you were going to say.
Okay.
Which is like, they're, they're a form of lift and fold.
But she literally only had like 4 strands.
Because it was
on
her bangs. It was her like little angle bangs.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'll agree to agree.
Okay. All right. So we're getting to the marriage blessing. Meg, you want to start us off with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this episode I think had me thinking a lot about Teresa's past marriage and maybe the impact that that's having on things right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what you guys think about the influence that might have had on Joe Gorga
my
here and kind of accepting that. I mean, I don't know that he had much of a choice, if someone's asking for your blessing in your sister's marriage. I don't know how you would say no, but to have that whole historical context too to their relationship. I don't know. How do you guys think that impacted Joe during those moments?
You want to take it first, Karen?
No, you can.
All right. Okay. All right. First, I want to say I love the conversation, and I love Joe. Okay, I think it's more because I love Joe. I like Louis acknowledging the loss of Teresa's father.
Yes.
Okay, as far as the asking for the blessing, I think it's necessary. I do. I mean, Bob asked for my parents' blessing, and I think that meant a lot. I told him before we got engaged, I'm like, you need to ask your parents, my parents. I want everyone to be on board. Mm-hmm. As far as Teresa goes, yeah, I think she's had a horrible first marriage. I do think Louis was right in asking the blessing. I think he did all the right, quote unquote, things. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's the right, quote unquote, person, but he's certainly playing the part right now. Yeah. So I guess that's where I'm coming from as far as the marriage blessing goes.
Yeah, I don't have much to say on that.
Okay.
I don't honestly I don't know. I think it's a sham for the show.
Okay.
I think it was done for the show.
Okay. On Louis' part or Teresa's part?
On both their parts. I don't know if it's a sincere thing that he did, and but that's my opinion.
Okay, no,
I didn't get a genuine feel for it.
Okay,
yeah, I didn't either. I mean, I totally agree with your point, Brenda, about the just checking the boxes thing. You know?
Right.
It comes off not genuine or sincere, like you had said, Karen. So I don't know. I think that he could certainly be doing the right things, but I don't know that he's really the right guy either. Right. And I think that Joe might just notice that he at surface level is so much better to her than the things we used to watch.
Right. Well, and let's be honest. If Joe said no, do you think Teresa would have accepted that?
No, you're right.
Oh, gosh,
it didn't even matter.
That's my point.
You're right. Yeah.
Like, I feel like he had almost it was like, you say yes, or Teresa's going to disown you, and it's going to be a whole nother season of I hate Joe, I hate his wife, I hate his life, I hate everything about him.
Hence my point, it was done for the show.
Okay.
And I think Joe Gorga may have been in on it. I
don't think he was in on it, but I do think, I know what you're saying, though. He's between a rock and a hard place. He knows what he's going to have if he says no. He knows.
Right.
Look at the christening. Look at, everything else that has come.
Yeah.
Even him and Gia fighting about Joe Judas. He knows he will only have the bad end of the stick. And I feel like, can he not say yes at that point? I don't know. I mean, even if he didn't want to.
Right. Yes. And I wish I could be positive about it. And I wish.
Yeah.
But just from the past and how Teresa treats him, Joe and Melissa, and you're right. He's kind of forced into saying yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether his feelings are true or not.
Right. Well, and so this leads into something I had written down, which is again, I do not want to take away from what Teresa's been through. I think in this marriage proposal part, Louis does talk about where she's been, how much she gives to him as a person. Mm-hmm. Yes, she went to jail. I've never been to jail. I can't imagine going to jail. Just the thought that she's come out the other side. She's paid her restitution. She's divorced her husband. She's raised 4 kids. She's found love on the other side. She still has businesses. I never want to take away from a woman who's doing something ever.
Absolutely.
And I feel like maybe that needs to be said because she has been through a lot more than most females I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with her, but I will, I guess, acknowledge it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it goes back to that comment Dolores had made about the shelter dog comparison with Teresa.
You're right, Meg.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Tough
just hope,
situation.
yes, and I hope that their love, her and Louise, Teresa and Louise, isn't a light that dims, because it seems like they're really strong right now. But like you were saying, Karen, like, you know, if it is for TV, that's gonna dim, and
Yeah.
I just don't know what to think about that. So, anyways, so that's marriage and blessing. What about Teresa and Marge? What do we think about this? Karen, go ahead.
I don't think it's ever going to become a legit friendship again.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lack of trust on both their parts.
Mm-hmm.
More so now on Marge, because Marge is I find her as a positive, loyal person.
Yes.
And Teresa just can't get past
herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Herself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, Meg?
Yeah, I don't see them also genuinely repairing what has happened. I think too many things have now been said.
Yep.
I think too many things have been mishandled. I don't see long-term repair for the two of them.
No.
What do you think, Brenda?
Oh, agreed. Like, I think, you know, Margaret said, she's like, I was quick to forgive when she did this, when she did that, when she put
Had
her
her
hair, whatever.
pulled, yes.
Yeah, like physical, actual aggression / violence, and yeah, here we are still with the two of them at odds. So no, I don't think, and this leads into my whole point, and maybe this gets into the final thoughts. Like, my whole thing is like, okay. Do we really have a New Jersey with Teresa in it? I mean, the last parts of this episode was talking about her and Louis and where they move forward. Like I said last week, I could see them taking their own show on Bravo. I'm not taking away from Teresa's life. I'm just saying, does she have a path forward on Housewives? I don't know.
How many people do you think would watch that?
Oh, people watch... Okay, I just watched Portia's Family Matters. I know, you didn't, but I did.
Not.
I don't know how many people watch it, but like people who watch The Housewives, I mean, you gotta say half of them will watch the, the next series. Half. Let's say, cut it in half, that's what you're gonna do.
Because I watched the Candy and the Gang thing.
I
got sucked into it.
So I just feel like, okay, if she came out, there are so many Teresa people. They're going to be interested in her life. Yeah, so Meg said she would watch.
All right, that's a good question to ask for our leave a comment if you would watch.
Yes,
Teresa
would you
spinoff.
watch a Teresa
spinoff?
That's a great point.
I think too that would be a really maybe more positive light for her be in.
Right.
Yeah,
you know, I think that this is definitely not the right setting.
No, I agree.
This, they said this group is divided, and Marge had said, no, I'm just divided against her, but I really do feel like the group is divided right now. And,
okay, so when they were sitting there talking, Teresa and Marge, I noticed Teresa started to get teary-eyed.
Okay.
Do you think that's legit? Or do you think it's due to guilt? Or does she actually feel bad for her treatment of... I don't know.
Pick me,
All right,
Karen.
go.
All right, here's my thought. I would have... Okay, I do think it was legit, okay? But then you know what made me think it wasn't? Was when Louis came over and said, Margaret just wants your seat.
Yes. Okay.
And then I thought to myself, so Louis is looking at this as a money-making franchise saying, Margaret wants your seat on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, so whatever legitimacy she had, Louis took away.
Agree.
Okay, so Meg, final thoughts? Any?
Just that I'm really jealous that I can't say things like, I want to get a jet and go home. And let's go move into our 50,000 square foot house.
Oh my God, Meg, that's so good.
That's a good jealousy.
I love it. Okay.
You, Brenda?
Well, I already said mine,
okay.
Which is, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I already said mine.
Mine, the only thing I thought about was, final thought, why does nobody ever bring up Melissa's store anymore? Anyway.
Oh my gosh!
What happened
Great
to
question.
that? Okay, yeah, really good question. We gotta look and see if Envy's still on.
Is it a thing?
I don't know. That's a
I'm not
really good
sure.
question.
All right, so let's again
All right.
question for the questions that viewers listen to.
Yeah. So question our podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Comment letting us know if
Yeah,
you
thank
know
you,
what happened to Envy.
She knows what to say.
Oh my god.
Okay, perfect.
All
Love
right. Well, we'll be back with our Rising Stars and Time Out.
it. Woohoo!
Yay! Welcome
Bloopers.
back. We are at the portion where we talk about the rising star, which means somebody who shined during the episode.
Yep.
So my thought is Marge.
Yep.
And my reasoning is because during that conversation with Teresa, she was very honest.
Mm-hmm.
She's very upfront.
Mm-hmm.
She straightforward. She always typically has good intentions.
Yep.
Agreed.
She didn't mean to hurt her with her, criticism
Yep.
or talking about Louis. It's just something that she was being honest about. And I think she's a loyal friend because she was trying to help Teresa. And she's a very caring person. Or it came out that way during this episode.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Karen.
I'm not sure.
Absolutely.
So that's my reasoning.
Okay. I agree with that. And what I would add is she kind of balances the scales of Teresa. Teresa, without balance, would be way lopsided.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like Margaret's like, hey, as I move you down on the scales, I'm trying to keep you accountable. I'm trying to keep you, honest. I'm trying to keep you, a realistic human being.
Exactly.
And her sit down with Teresa, if it wasn't Margaret, would have gone diabolically terrible.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. If it wasn't Margaret having this conversation with Teresa, nobody would have had the tact she had, the tone of voice she had. Yes, she had strong wording and she did hold her accountable, but the fact of the matter is she has been there for Teresa, and Teresa, I don't think, can fully deny that, which is why she didn't pop off from the start.
Right.
And I think Marge is super intelligent, and I think she's able to come up with these points that holds Teresa down a little bit. I feel like she can't rise to her aggression because Marge is making logical sense, which keeps her somewhat simmered down.
And she can take the hits.
Not totally simmered down, but simmered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What do you think, Meg?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If I had to pick someone from this episode, and it was hard to choose
Yes.
today, because
It's hard to find one.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't know. This episode wasn't as strikingly clear to me as it was from the episode before,
prior,
Yeah.
Which is considering crazy because it's a season finale.
Right.
Right. I agree. But if I had to pick someone, I would also have picked Marge. I do think that her intentions were good in all that she has done, and that it seemed at least like it was coming from a place where she was trying to be a good friend. She was asking questions because she was concerned, She's even having this conversation with Teresa as her friend, And I got to give it to Marge that she tried to be her friend, and this is kind of the boat she's landed in.
Yeah.
As a result of caring about her.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Good point.
All
Okay.
right,
Good point. All right, rising star, Marge Josephs.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Needs a
Who
break.
wants to start this one off?
All right.
Meg, you want to take it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
what an ending for Louis. So it was really in those final scenes that I thought
I
it was
agree.
in poor taste, some of his final comments. I mean, let me get a jet out of here. I'm gonna go back to my 50,000 square foot house. How lucky are you that you get to be with me, that I'm making all this money so you don't have to work a day in your life.
Right.
Worry about what people could say.
Yeah. I mean, if he wasn't already shooting off some red flags with his history, which I think people have a right to be concerned about, that was another instance in this season where we saw that from him. He had made the comment about, how will she ever learn?
Right.
And everyone kind of took that step back with him, and we saw that again tonight. So
Yep, good point, Meg.
Perfect.
what do you think, Brenda?
So I will say Karen was the one who came up with the needs a break being Louis, and I give her credit for sure, because I was like, I'm
It's
not
hard.
really sure who.
It's hard.
It was hard. I mean, he says the right stuff. He does the right things. But sometimes you just have to question. I mean, especially on a reality show. In real life, if you had a best friend who was dating quote unquote the perfect guy, you'd be like, okay, like let me know when you find something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in the show, Margaret's trying to be that person of like, okay, I found this other stuff, right? And I feel like Teresa's not listening. I do feel like as much as I want to like Louis, and I really do want to like him. He says the right stuff. He shows up. I get it. I don't know. I mean, if you have, the saying, when there's smoke, there's fire?
Yes.
And so, like, even if it isn't he was abusive, even it wasn't, as bad as they make it seem in the blogs, there's still something. And I'm not saying he can't change, but from this episode, like Meg said, I don't know. You look at people when they think cameras are off of them, and when he thought cameras were off of him, he was putting on his blazer with the tread mark on the back, going around saying stuff, which I don't think he would have said on camera.
Okay.
So, Karen, what do you think?
So what caught me off guard was when they were having the conversation, when he jumped in to back up Teresa, he was so condescending.
To Marge?
Yes.
Yes.
Have a nice night. Okay, now I'm going to go and get a jet. And a good significant other would not just blatantly, blindly do that. You kind of have to have a conversation about that before you just pop off. So they would look at all perspectives in to back you up, but also to kind of bring you down a level. Yeah. Right? That's what a good significant other does.
Absolutely.
So
back you up in public, but talk to you in private.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so and honestly, since when is Teresa the calm one?
Yeah.
Louis is looking a little crazy. And that's, come on. I mean, so that was my reason. He had a hot temper. Yeah. It came out. And I think that's truly
who he is.
Based off of this, who he is. And based off of past episodes. Yeah. Like the whole, how is she going to learn?
The two of them might be perfect for each other in this really weird way. Maybe. Yeah.
And we'll see them in their new show on Bravo.
Yes.
Maybe.
So.
Okay, perfect. All right, great.
Well,
exit ticket.
I think we got our final thoughts really down.
Yep.
Teresa's going to need a new show.
Margaret is actually a very kind person.
Yes, very kind,
good friend,
intelligent woman. Agreed. Yeah.
Excited about the reunions.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The 3. Is there 3 or 4 episodes?
Well, we don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at least 2. So I would say 3.
I think
because they have a lot to go through.
Yeah. And I think in the preview it said it was one of the the longest
so
they've
maybe
ever
it's 4.
filmed. Yeah.
Oh, then maybe it's 4 because they have done 3.
Yes. And I think
so it's a 4-parter, I bet.
Maybe. All right, so awesome. Karen's saying 4. I'm saying 3. What do you say, Meg? I don't know what we're betting on, but maybe the next round of drinks when we go out.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be 4. They're saying
okay. All right.
I'm going with 4. So.
All right, perfect. All right. Well, the last thing we have to say is, if you like us, can you like or subscribe us and let us know your thoughts? We have a few questions, Meg. You want to read them?
Yeah. Do you think Teresa needs her own show on Bravo? Do you think maybe we'd see a different Teresa in that show?
Yep.
I guess to follow up, what do you think would happen to the Real Housewives of New Jersey without Teresa?
That is a good follow-up.
To get you guys thinking.
Yeah. I was going to say we have our own thoughts, but we'll talk next time.
Yes. Do you happen to know what's going on with Melissa's clothing line, Envy?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it still around?
I don't know.
Does anybody know?
It's gotta be. She must not have to run it. Well, it's like Kyle Richards.
Great.
She still has a ton of.
Kyle Richards. Okay. Well, now we're gonna get really
sorry.
Kyle Richards' store went under. All right. So if you know, well, I think all of Kylie.
Oh, I thought only one. Okay.
Right. Well, let us know if Envy's still available.
Yes.
Yes.
Research, people. Research.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We can't wait to see you for episode 3.
Yep.
Yes. Bye. For the reunion.
Have a good week.